Listen, did y'all know that they have legislation that they're introducing that would allow for illegal immigrants, migrants, to purchase homes? Oh man, Ben Carson had an opportunity. Y'all know anything about Ben Carson? Y'all didn't read Ben Carson's book? Ben Carson has something to say about it.
I want to bring in Dr. Ben Carson. He's the former Housing and Urban Development Secretary under President Trump. Doctor, welcome back. Always good to see you. What's your reaction to the Supreme Court ruling?
Well, I'm proud of the Supreme Court that they were able to put politics behind them and do what's right. There comes a time when you have to recognize that the Constitution is the thing that holds this nation together.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that they were able to recognize that. And I hope it's a continuing trend.
Doctor, you know what's coming now, don't you? So you do know what's coming. You're being floated as a possible pick for vice president for Mr. Trump. If Trump asks you, would you accept the vice president's position?
Well, let me put it this way. I am extremely committed to saving our country. And President Trump is extremely committed to that. Winning the election is only step one. They have a lot of work to do to undo some of the damage that's been caused by the administrative state and the loss of allegiance and patriotism to our nation.
Yo, Ben Carson is quite possibly one of the most stellar, smartest people that is in the community. And guess what? He's shunned. Largely shunned by the black community. Ain't that crazy?
Sounds like a big yes, you would accept if asked. Can I interpret it like that?
You can interpret it however you'd like.
I knew that was coming too. You're too smart for me. All right. Trump is seeing major shift among black voters and voters under 30, two key demographic groups. Why would a second Trump administration be good for young folks and black voters?
According to a Fox News poll, among black voters, how would you vote if the candidates were Joe Biden or Trump, which we all know that these are going to be the two candidates. Check this out. Among black voters back in February 2020, black people overwhelmingly went for Biden for 89%. Listen, that would mean that of the majority of the people that's in here that y'all don't want to admit, y'all was at the polls checking right on down on the blue side. You picked Kamala Harris, and you also picked Biden. Now, it's swinging a little bit, but we can't expect for any of y'all to actually be honest about the fact that you still support Biden. Now it's 66% to 28%. Why do you think that black people decided that they wanted to divest themselves from the Democratic Party, which I believe that is mostly men? Mostly men are the ones that saying, you know what? I seen my boy Peasy. Shout out to Peasy. He was on the gram the other day and he was going back and forth with the black community. And he was saying that he was supporting Trump. And the people was mad at him. Mad at him. It is some prominent people that is still on the Biden train.
Well, I think the first Trump administration gave a lot of people, particularly in the minority community, an opportunity to see that the best policy is one in which a rising tide lifts all boats, not one where you pick various demographics and try to give them an advantage or try to even things out. And that worked out extremely well in the black community. There were more jobs, higher wages, the highest ever home ownership numbers. A lot of things were going well, and I think people are able to compare what was happening then with what's happening now.
You hear all of those stats? Y'all was buying homes, wages was up, debt was down, education. Now look at you, dusty. And the price of the brick has went down.
And see a big difference.
I just want to get back to this. Am I right in saying that Trump was the only president for a very long time who has actually narrowed the income inequality gap? I believe he did that. Can you confirm it?
Yes, absolutely. Recognize that income is derived largely from home ownership. You had the highest home ownership numbers under Trump. And the average renter has a net worth of about $5,000, the average homeowner about $200,000. That's a 40-fold increase. And a lot of the policies, particularly the progressives over the decade, have went toward getting people into housing, but as renters and not as owners. And I think that's a big difference and has accounted for a lot of the wealth gap.
What do you make of this new bill in California that would make illegal migrants eligible for first-time homebuyer loans?
A new California bill. I want y'all to understand this. Let me see if I can find it specifically. There's a new bill in California. Let me see what it's called. It is called introduced Assembly Bill 1840 earlier this year, which would create an alternative way for illegal immigrants to achieve home ownership. The bill is set to expand eligibility criteria for a state loan program to expand these loans to undocumented immigrants who are first-time buyers. An applicant under the program shall not be disqualified solely based on the applicant's immigration status. It's that I see it. It's for undocumented individuals, despite the fact that they've qualified under existing criteria, such as having a need for home ownership. The bill focuses on all shared appreciation loans program, which launched in spring 2023, giving first-time home buyers a loan that covers up to 20% of the properties purchased that will not accumulate interest or have required monthly payments. Loanees are expected to pay back the original loan amount in addition to the 20% of the increase in the home's value when the property's mortgage is refinanced or resold. Only when it's refinanced and resold. First introduced January 16th, Bill 1840 was originally intended to provide shared appreciation loans to low and middle income citizens. It was originally for low and middle income citizens. Under the new proposal, the legislation would expand to allow the program to include illegal immigrants into the eligibility pool. It was established to assist low and middle income individuals to purchase homes, but the program hasn't been clear about the eligibility for undocumented individuals, and AB 1840 addresses that issue. Legislators say this in California. Let me be clear. Anybody who meets the program's criteria can apply for this loan program. And to qualify, you must secure the bank loan or the mortgage. It's about providing an opportunity for home ownership, which we know allows family to secure financial security and stability. The ability to do this strengthens local economies, and that benefits all people who call California home. This is crazy. This is a real thing. The LA Times reported the California loan program garnered 2,300 applicants in less than 2 weeks before the applications were halted last year. And the program will now replace the first come, first served basis that was originally intended for low income or middle class income families with a lottery program. Concerns continue to rise across the country as the migrant crisis continues to grow and overpower different states' available resources. And then it goes into the border bill, National Border Patrol Council, so on and so forth. So this is a new bill that's being introduced in California that you can look up based off of what it is that I just reported to you, that basically expands eligibility for home ownership into illegal immigrants. Ben Carson wants to comment on this, ladies and gentlemen.
Should migrants be entitled to those loans, Doctor?
So many of our young people, young couples, are just giving up on the American dream because it's so hard for them to own a home. And now you got California trying to get homes for illegal immigrants. Are you kidding me? It's absurd. And, anytime when we're thinking about rights for criminals and people who are doing things illegally over the rights of our own people, we have a major problem. And I hope the American people recognize that.
Dr. Ben Carson, thanks as always.
So I just wanted to make sure that I educated you guys and kept you informed on what was going on out in these streets. And so now you can't say, well, they slipped this under our nose and we didn't know about it. No, you need to know about it. You need to know what's going on out here in these streets. You need to know what's going on in your own backyard. Prince Elian says, no, none of this matters because black folks are still going to vote Democrat for their own replacement. Well, we know that. We already know that. So, but at least you can't say that you didn't know what you was voting for or what you decided that you didn't want to participate in the voting process for. Shout out to Gavin Newsom over there running California amok.